Hey Riley Besties, welcome back to the Writing with Anna New podcast. We'll talk about all things writing in today's episode. I'm going to be reading some quotes from my books, all of my projects basically, and if you guys don't know, I have like around 5-6 projects I'm currently working on. Yeah, when I tell people that, they look at me like I'm crazy, as they should. But sorry that this podcast was a little bit late. I've been a little bit distracted, a little bit busy, but I am posting podcasts every 2 weeks, so yeah, every fortnight. Come and chill with me. Today we're going to be going through, some quotes from my novels, and let's just go ahead and get straight into it. So I have basically all my books, and I'm going to be convincing you to support me and want to read my books by these lines. And I did actually do a post on my Instagram about this. So if you guys don't know, I have an Instagram and y'all are so sweet on there. So I always love hearing your guys' thoughts on my books. So I post a lot of content basically on my Instagram. But anyways, let's go ahead and read the quotes of my books. Let's go. So the first quote is Project Ghost, which is the debut novel I hope to publish this year. So if you haven't seen my face before, yep, that's the book that I've been working on. Okay, let's hear it. Ned's voice drops so low only Red can make out his words. You can call us ghosts, whatever you want. We don't care, Red, but no, we'll never leave you. We're your ghosts. He looks straight into her eyes and whispers, I'm your ghost. Ooh, so that's my paranormal literary fiction book, and Red and Ned have banter throughout the whole book. I love their characters so much, and just seeing, I don't know, Ned kind of flirt almost with Red, it's such an interesting thing, and it has such a huge part of the story that I don't really want to explain lest I spoil the whole thing, but that's a really fun quote that I really did enjoy. So that's Project Ghost. Okay, next up is Project Orchestra. This is my historical fiction novel that I finished last year, so let's go ahead and read it. I think I've talked about this quote maybe in one of my vlogs, so if you recognize it, you're really okay. But let's hear it. Okay. If you say I'm an angel, then I've fallen so deeply, my wings have forsaken me. Ugh, this is the most cutest part of my book that freaks me out so much because I just love my characters so much, and knowing what happens after this, it's not a fun thing. So I was really loving this quote, and I think it just definitely does capture the heart of my character who says this, who's Alex, and basically Lewis, who's the other main character, loves Alex so much, and Alex feels so just like a terrible person. And yeah, for context, basically Lewis calls him an angel because Alex basically saved his life through music, and it's just such a sweet quote, and I'm gonna cry. But my favorite quotes honestly are dialogue pieces, so this one takes the cake just generally for all my projects. I adore it so much. Okay, next up we have Project Samson. This book is a dystopian, post-apocalyptic / futuristic / back in time. I don't know. It's a whole story, but Project Samson is a very fun one, and it's just a really simple quote that might convince you to want to read this book. But it says, "I saw the end of the world, and in the center of it was a boy." Yeah, that's the quote, and this is definitely heavily inspired by one of my favorite songs, which is "End of the World" by Zero's. I adore Zero's music. They are the number one inspiration of all my stories now, so go listen to their music. I love them so much. So Zero's, listen to their music, especially End of the World. Oh, so good. So that book is literally inspired by that song, so listen to that. Okay, next up we have Project City of Zeal, which is my fantasy book. This is a really well-known old project that I'm yet to... I feel so terrible every time I bring this up because I'm when you have these projects that you just want to work on but you never do, so you just kind of feel bad and guilty, but you love it so much anyways. But this is a high fantasy, has different worlds, it has portals, it has elves, it has humans, it has angels, everything that you want in a fantasy book. So this is definitely a book I need to finish. It's the book of my heart. So let's hear the quote. Okay. The lost city was how Dell last remembered it. Vacant bodies roaming the cobbled streets, dim lampposts hanging like dying suns, and the rusted glow of a kingdom that once housed a god named Zeal. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's very like fable-esque. It's very like fantasy. I love it. I love fantasy books, and just like the rusted glow. And I definitely did have a huge like the way that I came up with the book was definitely from this idea of like a gold encrusted city in the middle of this like almost new world, and there's like these cobbled streets that lead to portals, and it's like this city of Zeal is the world in between worlds sort of thing. So it's a very important part of the book. Also, sorry if my voice is not okay. It's like early in the morning. It's literally 9:53, but my voice cannot work, it seems. Anyways, let's move on. Next up, we have Project I First Met You in a Graveyard. This is definitely a longer quote, so strap yourselves in. I might need a cut because I cannot speak properly. But let's go ahead and have a look. This is actually a literary fiction romance. Yeah. This is like the first book I ever finished, which is so sweet. I love the characters so much, and I think about them on a daily basis. So let's go ahead and have a read of this longer quote. Kaido suddenly turns to Eamon, his breath catching. I just don't understand life. Life isn't kind to us. He looks into Eamon's eyes, almost desperate. So what possibly can we hope from death? Eamon feels his heart break and fissure, sinking into the cage of his ribs. When he looks up to Kaido, he sees the same boy up on that stage, his heart on fire, his eyes lit with passion, love, anger, and hopeless life. Eamon shakes his head. But death led me to you, didn't it? I'm gonna cry. I love these two boys so much. I love them. There's nothing else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode. I had so much fun reading some of my quotes from my books. If you're interested in some of my books, definitely subscribe to my channel. Check out my Instagram. I have lots and lots of like stuff of my books. I have like Pinterest boards. I have all these different things. I love my Instagram so much. And of course, please, if you're able to, definitely rate my podcast 5 stars on Spotify if you haven't already. I know a lot of you guys actually just, watch on YouTube, which is completely fine. I love y'all. But if you ever want to rewatch or re-listen, stream on Spotify. Thank you so much. And yeah, I love you all, and I hope to see you in my next writing podcast. Okay, bye everyone. Beautiful people.